So who is going to be the 2023 Fantasy Football MVP? I'm about to tell you who I think it's going to be. This is the Fantasy Sports Boss. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification like button as well. So this is the time of the year where I reveal the player who I think is going to be the Fantasy Football MVP that is not considered like a top tier guy. So like, you know, I can easily come on here and say, okay, Christian McCaffrey or Austin Eckler or Justin Jefferson, is going to be the Fantasy Football MVP. But what's the fun in that? There's really, you know, there's no fun in taking the obvious picks. So what I like to do is maybe go another tier down at a position and say, you know what, if all breaks right, this person who has massive upside coming into the season, all breaks right, he's going to be the Fantasy Football MVP. And I looked at all the positions, running backs, tight end, quarterback, wide receiver, and the guy that I just keep coming back to, who I think is going to be the 2023 Fantasy Football MVP that's not a top-tier guy, is Justin Fields, quarterback for the Chicago Bears. I know myself, I had him on both of my teams last year. It was an unbelievable ride, starting, you know, week 3, week 4, through the rest of the season, really to the fantasy football playoffs, and then injuries really caught up with him. And then the running aspect of his game was put on ice. But Fields was absolutely spectacular for, you know, 3/4 of the season. The numbers were absurd, particularly the rushing yardage, 1,143 yards on the ground, 8 rushing touchdowns. You know, had a 170-yard game on the ground. It was just ridiculous. I mean, you know, his passing numbers, not as great, 2,242 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But the overall product was just out of this world, and for a second-year quarterback. Now, when I look ahead to 2023, I just see Fields as, you know, as long as he remains healthy, the planets are aligning for him to be the top scoring player, regardless of position this season. The offensive line has been improved. The Bears went out and traded for a number 1 wide receiver, DJ Moore, who's very capable, multiple 1,000-yard seasons, very underrated wide receiver 1 talent. They have Cole Kmet, a very good pass receiving tight end. They have Darnell Mooney, underrated receiver who's coming back from injury. You know, they have some intriguing running backs on this team, and it's all there for Fields to go wild. The 1,143 rushing yards, I think he's going to improve on that. I think he's going to top 1,200 yards rushing, which is just insane for a quarterback. I think he's going to have more than 10 rushing touchdowns. He's going to have more than 17 passing touchdowns. And I think he's going to go over 3,000 passing yards. So if you have 3,000 passing yards, let's say it's 22 to 25 passing touchdowns. Let's say 20, let's call it 22. I don't think he's going to get to 25. 1,200 rushing yards, 10 rushing scores on the ground. Insane numbers for Justin Fields this season. The receiver quotient of this team has been greatly improved with DJ Moore coming aboard, Darnell Mooney coming back to help, Cole Kmet at tight end, Khalil Herbert, Dante Foreman at running back, a solid group there. And the offensive line improving. I think Justin Fields is going to go insane this season. And it's going to cost a lot. Listen, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts are the first 3 guys off the board. That next group then is Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields. Really, when you look at it, I think he's going to be the 6th quarterback off the board in the majority of fantasy football leagues. So you're talking about a guy who you can get the 6th quarterback from that group could lead all of fantasy football in scoring. So that's my pick for 2023 in terms of who I think is going to be the top scorer this season. All right, hit that subscribe, hit the notification button. More videos on the way, guys. Live stream again on Friday for Football Friday. Make sure you tune in for that. And, of course, once the season starts, tons and tons of videos, tons and tons of injury updates, all the good stuff. So make sure you're a subscriber.